Good afternoon. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Just got back from town, been out running errands and getting stuff ready. Mama and I are pulling out of here early in the morning and heading across to Kentucky, visit my mom and my daughter and her husband that's there for a couple days. And then we're headed down to Florida. And I accepted an offer to come and speak at a seminar down there. I've started accepting more of those offers on a limited basis, and so we're going to go down there and speak down there and then do a couple things, and so we're just getting stuff ready. I heard a guy talking this week or the end of last week, and he was expressing how he felt like in his life, where he was in his life, he didn't have a handle on anything. And he said it wasn't any particular thing, one thing he didn't have a handle on. Sometimes he felt like all of life was completely out of control and he had no handle on it. And it gets that way sometimes. And think of it like a pasture with a bunch of horses in it. You've got maybe your marriage, you've got your kids, you've got your job, you've got your health, maybe your church, friends, family, and nothing is really, everything feels out of control. You don't have a handle on anything, and it gets overwhelming. And so you're trying to catch the herd. It's like I said, sometimes it's like a herd of horses. We would go, we kept the horses up on top. We still have several up there. But this summer, and at one point, we had, 12 or 13 head of horses up there. And they were in roughly a 2,000 acre pasture. Of course, no halters, no nothing. They're just out there. And it's like, we need the horses. And we go up there to the pasture, and the horses, just today, it's just not the day. They're like, nah, not today. And so if you focus on it, you're like, we've got to catch the horse herd. I cannot catch the horse herd. It gets overwhelming and you will not catch the horse herd. But the horse herd is made up of individual horses. And so what we would do is we'd pick a horse. And usually when he was out here, it was Boone. Boone was the easiest horse to catch. Even when he was feeling a little bit frisky, he was the easiest horse to catch. Sometimes it's Jubilee. That's Mama's little pet mare. But you don't focus on the horse herd. Forget the horse herd. Okay. You stop thinking I have to catch the horse herd. And you say, I need to catch a horse. Catching a horse is much more manageable than catching a horse herd. And so you pick the easiest horse to catch. Now, a lot of times Mom would have like a little bag of treats, and Boone and Jubilee, whoever, they loved the treats. And so she'd go out easy, and they would come in, and let's say Boone, and she would catch Boone. And so she would start giving him treats, and brushing him and whatnot. And then another one of the couple of horses say, hey, Boone's getting treats. And he's just standing there quietly. So then they would come easing in. And then we would ease up with a halter and we'd catch one. And we'd ease up and we'd catch another. And then over time, we caught the horse herd. But we caught the horse herd because we didn't focus on the horse herd. We focused on one horse, the easiest horse to focus on. And, you find in life that when it's like everything's out of control and you're trying to bring everything into control at one time, it gets overwhelming. And you're trying to round up a pasture full of house cats, and it's just not working. You can pick one thing, the easiest thing for you to get control of. And that might just be your breathing. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start controlling my breathing. Okay. It might be okay, let me stop, let me sit down, let me think for a minute, let me chill out. What's the last few days has happened and taken place that has gotten my wife all fired up? And then just concentrate on that, if that's what in your life. And just, set her down, or go out there, or what, she's standing there doing the dishes, and you can tell you can always tell, her back is stiff and she's ramrod straight, and she's setting the glasses down on the counter a little harder than necessary. And just ease up there beside of her and pick up a towel and just start helping her dry the dishes. Just start easing that down. Whatever the situation is, I'm just saying, okay? And if you got her on your side, if you can catch her and get her where she's not all up and out and whatnot, go change the baby's diaper. Just whatever it is, just hug her and tell her, hey, I'm on your side and it's okay. All right, whatever your situation is. And then you got her, and she can help you catch the next wild horse. What is the next wild horse? Well, sometimes if you got kids, especially if you got more than one, we let things just kind of gin up, and they'll get out of control. And then if you get your wife caught up by the heart, and you guys go in on a united front, and you say, all right, kids, that's enough. All right, we're not acting like that no more. Turn the TV off, pick up the toys, and together, then you get the kids settled back down. And then from there, you gather back in over time. You gather in these wild horses, but individually that make up this wild herd that is your life, that's running out in a 2,000 acre pasture, and you don't see any way you can get all this under control. Well, if you're focusing on the herd instead of focusing on a horse, if you're focusing on life instead of focusing on one individual part of your life, and if I get this caught, if I get this joined up with me, then now there's two of us working on gathering in this wild horse herd of life. And if the two of us work together, we can catch another horse. And now there's three of us. And that second horse that we caught is the only horse that's going to draw in that third horse out there. Okay. So you say, well, one of the wild horses that I feel is out of control in my life is my finances. Okay. Well, if you haven't caught just the metaphor, if you haven't caught your wife so that you two are now together, you're not going to catch this wild horse of finances. Okay. Because she's spending this is her importance. You're spending that. You know what's here. She knows what's here. You guys aren't together. You're not communicating. You don't know what is coming in. You don't know exactly what's going out. You're not on the same page of, hey, let's tighten things down for a little bit until we get this under control financially. But if you catch that horse, which is your spouse, then that together will help you catch the horse of your finances that are running out of control up and down the pasture. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of things in life seem so overwhelming. And we look at it as the whole thing that has to be fixed. You got a horse, you have a horse that is like it bucks and it's fractious and it spooks at everything and it does this and it won't take the saddle, and you're like, the horse is a problem and I don't know how I can fix this whole situation. You don't fix this whole situation. You don't focus on this whole situation. You focus on one individual part. My horse doesn't trust me. My horse doesn't trust me. When you get that under control, when you get that that's one thing you can focus on. You can break down into bite-sized pieces. You can go out there and build a relationship with that horse. You can get that horse to trust you. Then when you go to pick up its feet, or you go to catch it, or you go to brush it, or you go to do this, or you go to do that, then if you have its trust working in tandem with you, then together you can work on picking up the feet. But if you don't get the trust first, then you're not going to get picking up the feet or the horse getting brushed. If the horse doesn't trust you, he's not going to stand there and let you brush him. And if he's not going to stand there and let you brush him, he's not going to let you put the saddle on. And if he's not going to put the saddle on, if he's not going to let you put the saddle on, he's not going to quietly, calmly, happily stand there and let you get up on his back. But we look at getting on the horse's back to ride the horse. That's the whole big thing. That's the horse herd we're trying to catch. Well, you got to catch that first easy to catch. All right? And that's getting the horse's trust. And so I don't know of anything in life. I don't know of anything in life that we cannot eventually catch that entire horse herd if we will find the easiest little thing that we know that we can catch that. And we take the time and we focus on that. And then we take that and we add the next easy piece to it. And then we take that together. And together we go get the next piece. Now there's three. Threefold cord's not easily broken, Proverbs says. But it's one piece at a time. It's one piece at a time. So if it's a job, okay, if you've got a contract, if you've got a bid and it's like it's blown all out and it's like I feel so overwhelmed, all right. Of this bid, this contract, what is the number one step, the first easy piece that you know that you can fix? Well, me and the supplier, we've been working together a long time. Okay, so I know that I can get the supplier. I know I can get that taken care of. All right, lock in your supplier. And now you have the supplier and you're on the same page. Now, the supplier, you can go to the owner who's like fizzed out over stuff. You can say, look, this is what we've got. Okay. And so we've got this taken care of. So with this now, we can work this out. Whatever your situation is, I'm just illustrating. There's, a million different variations, and you have to fix your, but the truth, the principle is the same. It's one bite at a time. You catch a horse herd by catching a horse. All right. And you gain control of your life by gaining control of one aspect of your life. And usually that's you. If you don't have control over yourself, if you don't have control over your appetites, if you don't have control over your temper, if you don't have control over your emotions, whatever emotion it is, if you don't have control over you, then you're not going to catch the next horse. If you don't have control over yourself, if you can't catch yourself, you understand what I'm saying here? How are you going to catch your wife or your husband? So much of what our spouses do is in direct response to what we do. And so much of the negative that our spouses do is in response to the negative that we put off because we don't have control over ourselves. We don't have control over our emotions. You don't have control over your finances right now, whether it's for a lot of people, it's because you don't have control over your appetites. You don't have control over your own personal spending habits. You say, well, my wife has spending habits, or my husband, I can't control their spending habits. Are you controlling your spending habits? Instead of controlling them, instead of catching them and trying to catch their spending habits, have you caught that relationship? Have you spent the time in working on that relationship so you guys are communicating and you're on the same team and you're approaching this next problem together as a team. Mama and Boone will catch Jubilee, because Boone was Jubilee's little brother for years. When we got her as a baby, she went straight in with Boone. So when Jubilee was really young, Jubilee didn't want to be caught. Boone was easy to catch. So as long as Mama caught Boone, then Mama and Boone caught Jubilee. And then Jubilee comes in, and then Jubilee's got someone that's been buddying up with her and say, well, they have Jubilees over getting treats, and they will come in. And because Mama and Boone together caught Jubilee, then Mama and Boone and Jubilee would catch Mouse, because Mouse would come in. You see what I'm saying? So in your life, you have to understand what the wild horses are that you're trying to catch. And then you have to determine which is the easiest one for you to catch. And then when you catch that one, you have to determine, okay, me and this one now, we're working together. How can we bring that one into the fold and catch that one? If you and your spouse are not working as a team, you will never catch the wild horse of finances. It will never be done. And if you and your spouse are not working as a team, you will never catch the heart of those children that are kind of running amok, because they'll play one of you off the other one. All right. But if mom and dad are a team and working together, the children eventually will want to join that team. You see what I'm saying? So don't get overwhelmed when life is like a bunch of crazy wild horses out there in the big pasture, and you can't catch the herd. You can't catch life. Stop focusing on catching life, on getting a handle on life. All right, start focusing on one aspect of it and get a handle on that. And usually that's you. Usually that's you. And then if you get a handle on you, then you can start the next one, whatever it may be. Okay? We've never come off that mountain without the whole horse herd. We never have. And so I just want to encourage you today, don't feel overwhelmed. All right? Just take the bite that you can bite and then move on to the next one. And it'll be all right. Stay consistent. All right? Keep the important thing. Realize what is the most important thing. I had a word there and I lost it. But priorities. Start with your priorities. Your priority is what? What is your priority? Your priority is getting something under control. Something. Catching one easiest thing to catch. That is your priority. Now, you have to figure that out for yourself. But once you catch that one thing, that one priority, then work with that to catch the next one. Okay? All right. I hope this is encouragement to you. And we'll catch you guys next time.